plus minorities, African American and Latinos. Minorities today, the non-white minority is 23% in the United States. So Mexicans, others, Asians, this constitutes. So it was this coalition, which the Afro-Americans, yes, the black population. The Afro-Americans and the Latinos, together with the Asians, as I said, constitutes 23%. They voted solidly en bloc for Obama. And then we were discussing just with Mr. Anand Raman and Krishnan and others. The interesting point is, in America, you can lose in terms of votes and still win an election. But Obama concentrated this coalition in states which would swing it in terms of electoral votes. It's a strategy which paid off very well. Coming to the Indian community, we have now 3 million persons of Indian origin in the United States. Like all immigrants, and incidentally, it is the richest immigrant community in the United States. And I have one request to the chairman of the committee when I come to that. The family income, average family income of an Indian family annual in the United States is $80,000. I mean, you don't know, they are real assets for you. The extent to which they went out to get the sanctions ended. I find, you know, I have a Gujarati son-in-law, incidentally, in the United States, and I have another son-in-law from UP out here in India, and therefore I interact a lot with the Gujarati community in the United States. Remarkable their commitment to India, their love for India. It is an asset which we can certainly use better for our own national development. This community, like most immigrant communities, was basically democratic because the Democrats always welcome immigrants. They support diversity. The Republicans have always been white majority. But incidentally, in recent years, the richer Indians and the highly into business, into Wall Street, that category has moved closer to the Republicans. So roughly, I'm told, $9 to $10 million of funding for Romney's campaign was provided by the Indian community. So they have not earned the anger of either of the political parties because the Democrats regard them as solid and the Republicans say these guys are rich and changeable. So, not that we did anything, but that's the way socially and economically the Indian community has played out in the United States. Interestingly, the only two governors are of Indian origin are Jindal and Nikki Haley, both Republicans. But I want to say this, that neither of them has shown a great interest in doing things for India or for Indian Americans. They're largely Southern Republicans where you have a very small Indian community, but hats off to them. They've done very well to become governors, and there was even a talk at a certain stage of Bobby Jindal being a vice presidential candidate from the Republicans. But one thing is very clear, there's been this sea change in politics, and the Republicans are learning the lesson that you cannot ignore the minorities. My own view is that by the next election, the Republicans control the church groups. The Mexicans, the Latinos are all very devout Catholics. Their move will be to somehow rope this in. Interestingly, George Bush won in all these states and Florida primarily because he and his brother, both southern governors, were very friendly and supportive of the Latinos. So for a Republican to win in the South, they have to go back to advice to George Bush and Jeb Bush, who were the successful governors in bringing in Latino support. I mean, there's no way that you keep losing. The only major state you win is California. You can win is Texas, where there is 38 electoral votes, and then you lose out in New York with 55, the Florida with 28. California with 55, Florida with 28, and New York with 29. It's very difficult to win. And thereafter, all that Obama needed to do was to concentrate on what we call as the swing states. So that is the reason for the victory, and that is how the Indian community has played off. I have only one suggestion to you, sir, which is that post 26/11, we have made it very difficult for our even members of the Indian community to visit us regularly. You know the problem. I do hope that, bearing in mind the contribution which the Indian community in places like the United States plays for us, we do change this and make it more liberal, even if you don't do it for others, but it should be done for people of Indian origin. The couple of things now is this spells out the politics. So you got Obama for 4 more years. I don't anticipate too many problems with Obama. But we'll have to be very careful about whom he selects as his Secretary of State. And I'm being brutally frank here. If somebody, let us not forget, the first 4 years of George Bush, the person who subverted the Indo-US relationship was his Secretary of State, General Colin Powell. He is the one who declared Pakistan as a major non-NATO ally. I have serious concerns if somebody like Senator Kerry should become the Secretary of State. Not that it will make a totally material difference, but I wouldn't like the relationship to stagnate. But otherwise, I think another point we have to bear in mind, and this is very important, within the next 5 years, the United States and North America are going to be self-sufficient and net exporters of energy. Their entire economic dynamics and therefore their geopolitical dynamics and policies in the Middle East will be very substantively affected when they are no longer dependent on Middle East oil. As it is, the United States is becoming an exporter of gas. It's a question of time before shale resources in oil makes it different. So anybody who thinks that American power is going to decline, or I think we shouldn't rush to judgment. Yes, because of the economy, their supply, their own surpluses for investment may be affected, but the huge resources offshore and now found not just in the United States, but in Canada, Argentina. This is going to make continent, North and South America, quite independent on issues of energy and in fact net exporters. Therefore, we'll have to watch how the oil situation plays out over the next couple of years. US power is set to increase. One final point I want to make. The Indian economy is sliding. India's role in today's world is going to be determined by how well we manage our economy and how fast we grow. If we are unable to sustain an 8 to 10% rate of growth, I think we should be prepared for our profile in the world to be adversely affected. As it is, people are talking of how other members of BRICS and Indonesia are doing better than India. I'm sorry to say it, but the mismanagement of the Indian economy over the last 4 years has landed us in a deeper mess internationally than is generally imagined here. जो छवि है भारत की, एक उभरती हुई शक्ति की, उस पर परिवर्तन आ रहा है. लोग ये नहीं कहते हैं कि ये एक उभरता हुआ शक्ति है. It is a serious matter. I don't know how seriously it has been viewed, but if you see the writings about India, they are very negative. Not that these people dislike us. It is more out of sorrow than anger that we are not performing to our potential. And ये अगर आर्थिक विकास की गति नहीं बढ़ाएं और 8 से 10% तक उस गति को नहीं लाएं, तो ये समझना कि हम अंतर्राष्ट्रीय समुदाय में एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण रोल अदा कर सकते हैं, ये एक ख्वाब है, नहीं होगा. आजकल के दुनिया में आपकी आर्थिक शक्ति आपकी राष्ट्रीय शक्ति से जुड़ी हुई है. दूसरी बात ये, जब आपकी आर्थिक प्रगति की गति गिरती है तो जो आपको पूंजी निवेश करना पड़ता है देश की रक्षा के लिए, उस पर बुरा असर पड़ता है. और आपने पढ़ा होगा कि ऐसे असर पड़ा है हमारे राष्ट्रीय रक्षा शक्ति पर. और उस समय जब चीन उभर कर एक घमंडी शक्ति का रूप अपना रहा है, एक ऐसा नकारात्मक रवैया अपना रहा है अपने हर एक पड़ोसी के प्रति कि उन पर दबाव आ रहा है. अगर बल प्रयोग करे जापान के खिलाफ, फिलीपींस के खिलाफ और वियतनाम के खिलाफ, तो ये क्या असंभव है कि उस तरह के दबाव हम पर नहीं आएगा. और अगर हमारी सुरक्षा तैयारियां में कुछ कमियां हैं और जिस तरह की सामग्री हमें अपने रक्षा विभाग को देना चाहिए हम नहीं दे पाते हैं हमारे जवानों को, तो आप किसका सामना करेंगे. इसके साथ मैं अपना भाषण को ख़त्म करूँगा ज़रूर. और मेरा कहना यह है कि मैं फिर आप सबका आभारी हूँ कि आपने मौका दिया यहाँ बोलने के लिए. लेकिन मैं यही दोहराना चाहता हूँ कि मैं समझता हूँ कि हमारे संबंध और बेहतर बन सकते हैं. और दूसरी बात यह है कि अमेरिका में भारत के प्रति संबंध को बेहतर बनाने के लिए आम सहमति है. और जो उनके संसद में कॉकस बना है, इंडिया कॉकस, उसमें दोनों पार्टियों के सदस्य शामिल हैं. और ये एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण चीज़ है और इसका फ़ायदा हमें पूरी तरह से उठाना चाहिए. धन्यवाद.